everyone, I'm Sandy Duncan, Intuitive Medium, and welcome to the third installment of Rescue Mediums Behind the Scenes with 4 of the key people from this hit TV show. For anyone unfamiliar, Rescue Mediums filmed from 2006 to 2011 and can still be seen in many countries around the world and on YouTube. Mediums would visit people's homes that were disturbed by spirits and rescue them into the light. Today we're going to hear some fascinating accounts and behind-the-scenes stories from people who were part of this absolutely groundbreaking show. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the lovely Director of Research, Edna Dargie, the fantastic Michael Lamport, producer, writer, narrator, I'm running out of adjectives, the incomparable, unstoppable Jackie Dennison, rescue medium, international medium and psychic artist, and of course, the lovely, lovely Alison Wynne-Ryder, rescue medium, quirky medium, international medium, and author of the 2012 book, The Quirky Medium, The Extraordinary Story, The Extraordinary Life of an Unlikely Clairvoyant. Alison, almost.
No, that was perfect.
Welcome, everybody.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Great to be here.
So today we are going to talk about the cheers, the end of the episode. And Michael, I would love to start with you. The beginning is awesome. The middle is awesome. The end is the bow that you gave us. And I'd love to hear, everyone would love to hear how that came about.
How the ending came about with the puns?
Yeah, the idea to do the cheers at the end with a funny pun.
It's so weird, but I can't quite recall how it came about. I just know that it was a lot of fun doing it and thinking of it on your feed at the last minute, and then explaining it to Alison and Jackie, and just saying, okay, this is how we got to deliver it like this and put the emphasis here and blah, 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 blah. And the puns always tried to relate, I think, to what they were doing, a little bit about what the rescue was about, and just a little bit about being a psychic medium, who makes house calls. I think that's what we did, unless somebody can correct me, because I just remember them coming up, the puns coming up, just as we were doing the show. So wow. They weren't prearranged.
Well, that's a lot of trust to say, okay, you've rescued these spirits, and now we're going to have a funny moment.
Yeah, I guess it is. But Jackie and Alison were great because they just went along with it, and there wasn't really a problem. And I personally think that it's a very good element of the show to end on a upbeat note. Only one episode did we not do that, and that was the Lois Hannah case in Burvey, because it seemed inappropriate at the end of that show to have a cheers and a bit of a laugh. So
right,
we didn't do it for that, and I'm pleased about that.
Right. Edna, I'd like to switch over to you if I can, because the reference here is season 7, episode 5, Weakening the Ouija. I'm sure Alison and Jackie can chime in on this as well, but I'd like to hear from you. It's to do with the census. And I mean, the ladies will tell it much better than I can, but could you just give us a bit of a background on how the census would be used to bring all the information together when you're proving the rescue?
For almost every show, I really relied on the census data. And for Ontario, the census was available from 1842 right up to 1921. So it was invaluable when I was researching the history of the home, of the land, to go back and find out exactly who was living there and what their occupations were, their ages. I could get so much information, and that would help to tie in to try and figure out who the spirits were that were needed rescuing.
Right. Incredible. And to have the names as you watched unfold on a census list, what was that feeling when you're matching it up to that's who Jackie described, that's who Alison saw?
Well, that was, oh, I'd be jumping for joy actually when the connections would work. And not just from the census, but when all the pieces came in from everywhere. And yes, we got it. It was wonderful.
I got goosebumps just asking you that question. And I mean, for Alison and for Jackie, the one that we're referring to, Alison, you say, I love the research, especially the census. Jackie says, we didn't use a census this time. Alison says, why? Jackie says, because it's hard work and I sense us working overtime. Genius.
Brilliant, brilliant.
What do you remember about that?
Right, about that particular Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was one you picked, wasn't it, Jackie?
Yeah.
You know, looking through all the Cheers, and obviously we did the episodes back to back. It's so hard to remember every single one. So obviously we both picked sort of the ones that we feel either they were our favourites or because of everything that happened, they're the ones that we particularly felt were, you know, salient. But everything to do with the census, everything that Edna did, how on earth you got everything down and just researched everything, Edna. It was just amazing. You did a phenomenal job, honestly, you know. So, and you're the one that pulled everything together for Jackie and I to present to the homeowners at the end. But the Cheers were just brilliant because for me, a lot of them, because I was a newbie really, especially initially, and I was sort of, Jackie will agree with this, I was sort of working on a wing and a prayer really. So the Cheers at the end after doing like a really scary episode was a massive release, you know, whatever, you know, especially the mega scary ones, you know, where we were thrown about and being overshadowed. So that was it for me with each of them really. And it's so hard to pick between them all, isn't it, Jackie?
It is, and I think that particular episode that we were just talking about with the census and everything, I mean, that's how quick-witted Michael is when he comes up with these ideas for the Cheers. So sometimes the Cheers themselves are funny in what we're doing, and the puns that absolutely everybody loves, including us, the bad puns. But you know, in that instance, that was really, really clever because it brought in what had happened in the episode in that, because we talk about what's happened before we actually do the Cheers, and then we do the pun. And so the bit was very important because we hadn't used the census in you know, on that occasion. So it was just really, really funny. I think that was the episode that we went down the slide. We did the Cheers at the top.
We did. And you fell off the bottom, I think, didn't you?
You did. I went flying off the bottom.
Yeah.
And ended up in a heap on the floor. They showed that part of it, but it was just so funny. It was just so funny. But yeah, it's using whatever is available for the Cheers, whether it is the area or whether what we say is connected to the area or the rescue.
Yeah, incredible. Well, as a viewer, the relief at the Cheers part was like, oh, thank goodness. And especially with this episode using Ouija board, which to me, every time the show came within 5 feet of a Ouija board, the show got immediately 10 times more eerie for me. I don't know if it did for you, but I imagine the ripple could be felt through everyone.
Yeah. You don't know what you're up against, do you? You don't know what you're up against with a Ouija board. That's the thing, you know. It's like it's opening the doorway and allowing anybody to come in, and so you just don't. You could be dealing with more than one. You don't.
I like how Michael. I like how Michael aligned it with a census, which is all data, and a Ouija board, which is all numbers and letters. So that's where I kind of imagine that part of it may have come from.
The man is a genius.
The man is a genius, and we're talking about right in front of you, Michael.
Bad puns on.
Well,
Michael.
I
You were
don't think there's
talking,
any.
Michael, you were talking about your hair. Your head's going to be too big to get out the room in a minute.
I know. I think when you talk about the puns and being bad puns, in my comedic experience, there's not really a thing as a good pun. And I think the cornier they are, personally, I like them, and especially the way you two sell them, because you know, like we've all talked about this. You just got to commit to them, and just hope that they work. And sometimes they do, and sometimes puns don't.
Well, for the one that really worked incredibly well, you were in Bath, and the show ended with the rescue mediums being in a bathtub in front of the town sign that said Bath. Michael, how did you do it?
I don't remember that doing that. I mean, it's so bizarre. Like, I mean, it's easier to say, you know, oh my God, you know, 90, 91, 94 shows. And it is actually, I think Jackie mentioned it, and it is hard to remember each episode. But what's great about it is when you revisit them, they do, to me anyway, they look just like they're brand new. And I look at things and go like, oh my God, I forgot about that. And so I think it's fun to revisit them. I mean,
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Edna.
I was going to say, with that bath episode, wasn't the bathtub already a fixture of the town right by that sign?
Yes, it was.
The bathtub was there, so it was just begging for us to use it.
How was it? I don't remember. Did you know that, Jackie? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought Michael had gone and stolen one. I could just imagine a bathroom in somebody's house and the bath disappeared.
No, the only thing I've ever stolen, as you know, Jackie, is holy water from a cathedral.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm still being punished for that.
Sometimes though, you know, Michael, with the puns and everything, sometimes you couldn't physically be there. So you would tell Edna, you would ring Edna, wouldn't you, and tell Edna what the puns are. Do you remember that, Edna, how we would do that?
Oh, yes. Because as soon as we'd done the rescue and we'd given the information to the homeowners, we knew that the very last step was going to be the cheers with the pun and so on. And Michael wasn't always able to physically be there. So he would phone me up and give me very strict instructions on what you were to do and how you were to do it and what exactly you were to say. Now that's a lot of power I had. Because did I relay the exact information to you? Yes.
I think you did, yeah.
You did a good job, Edna, definitely.
Well, Michael wouldn't have been trusted doing that with me on more than one occasion if I didn't. But what was interesting was that the whole crew started, especially towards the last season, everyone wanted to make up a pun to be used. Remember that sometimes we would fill more than one, ending more than one cheers with the puns?
Yes.
Yeah.
You two even participated in
We did. I was just going to say, I remember on a couple of them, we did ad lib. And on one of them, I remember saying, and I don't think this was given to us, I might be wrong. I'm sure I said something like to Jackie, I think the guy who makes these puns up should be shot.
No, you did say it on camera.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but I just remember that distinctly. And then we did ad lib, we added like little bits in here and there, but it just felt right. And it ended up really, it was okay, you know? And it was natural and we were having fun, weren't we?
We were. Do you know one of the funniest?
It's great that
Go on, Michael.
Oh no! I was just going to say, sorry, is that one of the great things about the ending to me is that because this is a really serious show and a serious event for the homeowner, it's nice to have a little bit of levity, and also nice for you two to have a little bit of levity, because I know how strenuous it is when you go into a rescue.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Definitely.
And you almost need that lift at the end, don't you? You know, you almost need that. We need it.
Definitely.
You know, but the place does as well. It sort of, it lifts the atmosphere as well of, you know, where, especially if you do the cheers where you've been doing the rescue, which is one of the funniest ones that I think, and strangest ones that I've ever done, is when we did the invisible chairs. Do you remember, Alison, when we did the...
I do. It wasn't it was like at a museum, but it was like a railway station, wasn't it?
It was King City Museum.
That's it, King City.
Yeah.
We pretended to, well, we were doing our cheers, but we didn't actually physically have a glass in our hands,
Like
did
this,
we? And
yeah.
That was very clever.
It was really, really clever. And Michael, you took the part of the, you were the railway conductor, I think, or railway porter. And
That's it.
You handed us the glasses, the invisible glasses through the hat, and then we had to take them off you at exactly the same. Trying to do that when there's nothing there, it's really, really difficult.
It was hard.
You know, because neither Alison or I are actors, you know, so, you know, to try and get that right, I don't know how many takes we did with that, but it was so funny. But it was really good, because at the end, when we did the cheers with the glasses at the end, you could still hear the tinkling of the glasses.
Yeah, it was good. And the uniform that Michael wore, you took photographs of him, Edna, I think, didn't you? And that was just brilliant. And it sort of all fitted in with everything. It was good. Yeah.
I really
like good.
That one, Michael. Why did you think of the invisible glasses and the invisible chairs? What was the thought pattern behind that?
I'm not sure, Jackie, what the catalyst for that was, except that there seemed to be like invisible things happening, and it could have just been the case too that quite possibly one of our production assistants forgot to bring up the glasses, and we had a limited time to shoot it. So it's sort of like, well, what do you do now? Well, yeah, you make it invisible. Oh,
you improvise. Yeah. Oh dear, so funny. Oh, that's good.
Michael, I liked it when you didn't tell the rescue mediums what was going to happen, but just relayed instructions. And the episode that comes to mind is the bartender and telling them to say that he was hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you recall about that one, everybody?
Well, that was very fun, because before the ending, I spoke to the bar staff, and I think somebody said to me, "Well, why don't you get the bartender? Because what he does is he can flame throw out of his mouth." And I went, "No." And he showed me, and I was like, "Oh, well, we got to use this. We got to use this." But I deliberately didn't tell Jackie nor Alison, because I wanted it to be a surprise, and I think it was a surprise, wasn't it?
It definitely was. It definitely was. I think and we couldn't understand why Michael was telling us to say, "Oh, that bartender's really hot."
Yes.
Like, why is he telling us to say that? But of course, we because we are very good little girls, we said exactly what Michael said. And then the next, I mean, he blew this fire. I think we must have shot back off our seats. It was, it was really, really unexpected. But of course, it worked. It really worked. And he got our reaction straight away. That was funny, Alison, wasn't it?
It was. It was more of a shock than a surprise. Gosh, and you could feel the heat, definitely, couldn't you? It was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was
hotter in more ways than one.
Yeah, definitely.
Alison, you made the remark about feeling very free as a child when you'd be on a set of swings.
Oh,
and
yes.
a set of swings was used as one of the cheers. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, we were, I was always on swings as a child, and I used to love swinging back and too, and it was a sense of freedom. So when I saw the swings and realised that's where we were going to do the chairs, I was like, yes. And it was all about, we found a small bottle under the swing, and we were having a cheers with that. And Jackie said something like, "Where did you get that from?" And I said, "Oh, a guy on the plane gave it to me. They were a freebie." And I can't remember just let me see here. I've got it written down here. I can't remember what the last line of it was. Can you, Jackie?
It was something about, oh yeah, you know.
Oh, we're flying high. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about flying high. But it was really good because it was like, and it does, on some of the cheers, there is sort of like a childlike feeling with them, dependent on where it is. So the slide, the swings, and things like that were just, you know, sort of, it's like a relief from bringing your own inner child out to play. That's how I felt with them, you know. And every single cheers, every single one was a big relief, where we'd worked, all of us, everyone on the whole crew have worked so hard, doing episodes back to back, 12-hour days a lot of the time. And that cheers is like, you know, and then the joke just helped to sort of alleviate that tension as well. And some of the puns were just incredible, you know, they really were. The one in the cemetery, the dead centre of Brampton, is the one that comes to mind. It's a grave, yeah.
That was funny because of you, though, as well, Alison, because that was the episode with the little shot bottle, wasn't it, with the flask?
Oh, is that the one where I drank what I thought was water and it was brandy? God, yeah. Oh, yeah, so funny, so funny. Yeah, each and every one of them were unique and brilliant in their own way.
But I think even the voiceover, which of course is Michael doing the voiceover, the lead up to the cheers, so the voiceover comes in and out throughout the episode. And I think with that one, it was, I think Michael said something like a grave decision to make, or
that's it.
The graves that brought it into play, the build up to the chairs. So and that's brilliant how you do that, Michael. One of the things I like, I know it's not the chairs, but it's one of the things I really like is, you know, when we're going into like a basement, the words that you use are so appropriate to what we're doing and how we're feeling, because you're there, you know how we feel. You'd say like the rescue mediums are descending basement, and then you bring your voice in, so your voice descends, but the words that you use are so appropriate that not just, oh yeah, the ladies have gone downstairs to the basement. It's how you deliver it which makes it so good.
Very clever, very cleverly done.
Yeah, it is not just the end of the cheers, but we do have some great fun with all of the cheers, though. Sandy, sorry, I'm getting off subject here.
No, not at all. No, that's fantastic. One of my favorite Michaelisms is the rescue mediums are up to a dairying challenge. And then miraculously, a bottle is found under a plastic cow. How is that?
I remember that one.
I remember that one. That was really funny.
It was.
Even the title, The Farm's Utter Story. We could do a thing on titles. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Michael comes up with the titles for each episode as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's quite exciting for us because, you know, after doing the episode and everything, we've got no idea where we're going to do the cheers, are we, Jackie?
No,
or what it's going to be about. And each and every one is so different, you know, and as like we were saying before, each one links into everything that we did during the episode, you know, particularly the rescue itself. But yeah, the plastic cow in the middle of a field and finding a wine bottle, as you do, you know.
Of course you do. Yeah.
And you had described the sort of the childlike part, the swings, the playground, wherever Michael was finding for you and Jackie to do the cheers, and the relief. Would you say it's partly or all synonymous with the relief that the spirits felt when they went into the light?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, because obviously everything that we do during the episode is still resonating with us. So if it's, and as soon as we send the spirit to the light, both of us can feel the lightness within the room. And I know that the crew and, Edna and Michael can feel that too. So yeah, it does tie in, because obviously we're thinking about, and everything that we do is to help the homeowners, but to also help the spirit that's stuck between two worlds. So the release at the end and the funny ones like the slide and the swings, it sort of just helps you to like go, oh, and just, sort of seeing the world through the eyes of a child, if you like, and just sort of, knocking back the wine, which helps as well, I know. But yeah, it sort of links into every aspect of it, the release on so many levels for everybody that was involved in that episode. Yeah, that's a brilliant question.
Okay. The beginning too, to me, and you can, Jackie, Edna, Michael, everybody can attest to this, I think, or tell me if I'm wrong, the apprehension before you get there. To me, the spirits must know you're coming on some level, and you don't know where you're going. They don't know where you're coming from, and yet you all find each other.
Yeah. It is like that, because you really don't know. We are excited about where we're going as well, because we love to work, and that, that's one of the ways we love to work. However, you don't know what you're walking into. You have no idea what you're walking into, other than your premonitions that you've been given, which, that's why you need the cheers at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And the spirit always know, like you said, Sandy, they always know we're going. And some more than others do not want us to be there.
That's true.
Do you remember us being locked in the car on one of them, Jackie?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And we were banging on the car and all the crew were inside, and then there was a field of horses, and all the horses had got out and were galloping round.
That's right.
I remember feeling really frightened then. And
because even our mobile phones, our cell phones wouldn't work, would they?
No.
You tried to use the cell phones to ring, everybody who was inside, and no one could contact us. The doors had locked in the car, and we had all these ponies running around everywhere. That was really
it was
scary.
It was really, well, we heard, remember, we heard the car doors lock, and we wondered where it was. We had and the car doors had locked. Our phones, as Jackie said, wouldn't work. We couldn't get hold of anyone, and the only way we got out was when one of the crew members came out for a piece of equipment out of the van.
That's
and
right.
we were going, girls. Yeah, that was a really strong one. It was that strong that the homeowners had left the house and were so scared.
Yeah, they couldn't live there. That's why we were asked to go, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
Very scary stuff.
Incredible.
Okay, I think we should do a cheers, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, I know I'm sitting in front of Cheers royalty, so Michael, Edna, Alison, Jackie, with your permission, I am humbly offering my cheers pun. Here we go.
Okay.
We're practicing. Here we go. Michael, Edna, Jackie, Alison, why is this interview just like a ripe orange?
I don't know. Why is it like a ripe orange?
Because it's been such a juicy segment. Cheers.
Oh, I love it.
I told you it was bad.
Nice one, Sandy.
Brilliant. That was worthy of the bad puns, Sandy.
Well, the one that I was going to do, knowing that we were doing this interview, just very quickly, is I was going to say I have to go to the store and get a bit more wine, and Jackie or Alison asked me, "Well, where's the store?" I said, just go up the road here. Just go up the road here, and then the first road that comes across, you'll see it. It's right on the Corona.
Oh,
God.
Oh, I've missed your bad puns, my dear.
Yeah.
God, very clever.
Yes.
Very clever.
We need
But they were
to.
both good cheers jokes, both of them. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, Michael, yes. Just to prove that I am still in rescue mediums mode, there is my cheers glass.
I love it.
Oh,
And you know,
good.
that's great. I need something more classy than a plastic bottle. And although Michael thinks this is something stronger than water, it's actually water, it's agua, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I need to get a quirky glass or something to do my cheers.
I think it could be Spanish vodka.
A Spanish brandy. That would put hairs on your chest.
Okay, till next time. Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
Great. See you all next time.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.